3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up, can't control us. 1 time for the men doing gang things. Different super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 time cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing gang things. Different to the T, living super clean. 3 times for folk that up. 4 time cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, me up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy. Could've turned out like your homeboy. Being on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block, locked with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road. Take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach, screaming bumpy hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing kind thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing kind thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't doing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real man talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing kind thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men to the T, living super clean. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing gang things. Living super clean. Daddy came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that pop, I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you're lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Beers help me, shout it, let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing kind thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing kind thing. Dead fresh to the T.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. There we go. Turn my claps up. Shalom and shalom, Anna. Shalom, sis. Brianna. Shalom, shalom. Yes, that King Things is still fire. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here with me this evening. Well, first and foremost, all praises to the Most High for just allowing us to be able to be here, to have the strength, the life, the health to gather here with you all. There's a lot that was going on the internet today. So let me pull myself together. I'm sorry, y'all. I kind of was rushing. I tried something new for dinner. It's a lot. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for being here with me tonight on Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. Our main topic, you put other gods before him. Yes, that's exactly how it sounds. And I don't have a wickedness of a week, but I do have a very heavy what's going on in Babylon. I posted about Sierra's outfit to the 2023 Vanity Fair's party. They have this party every year after the Oscars. There's always a theme, right? So let's just go ahead and get into it because a lot of people had a lot to say about this. Um, so I don't know if you've seen the dress. I'm not going to show it because I think we've all seen it enough. If you have not seen it, Sierra showed up at the Vanity Fair party with her husband Russell in a dress that I would describe as a chopped up nightgown. Like it was literally a see-through nightgown. It's something that I would wear at home. Like I wouldn't even let my kids see me in this thing, okay? Um, and you know, a lot of people rushed to defend her. Um, and it never ceases to amaze me how a celebrity will do something, and whenever anyone disagrees with that, you have all these people that come to rush to defend this celebrity as if they don't have a whole PR team to do that for them already, okay? Too much, too little, okay? um as if they don't have a whole PR team there to defend them already, okay? But then you have people coming to rush to defend them. And why do you care what they wear? Why do you care what they wear? Okay, let's talk about why we should care what these women are wearing. Um, First of all, these women, Sierra, Beyonce, Cardi B, all the like of them are the representation for Black people in popular culture. Okay. I know nobody wants to believe that, right? Because who was it that came out and was like, I'm not a role model, I can do what I want. Nobody wants to take responsibility for being the representation for Black people. And here's the thing. Everyone likes to say, "Oh, um, you know, only they group us together. Only Black people carry the burden of representing their people and their behavior," but that's not true at all. Um, you have other nations of people who are represented in media, in culture, and they somehow manage not to degrade themselves. Now, for the purpose of this argument, let's be clear. I am talking about brown people, Black people specifically, but this is an issue that is relatable to brown people from different origins and spectrums, okay? Thank you, honey. I'm sorry y'all had my baby bring me some tea. Thank you. Um, so let's go to this same party, okay? You see women of Middle Eastern descent who are dressed. They have their hijabs on, okay? There's one lady there, I don't remember her name, please forgive me, but she looked gorgeous. Her hijab and everything was done by Ralph Lauren, honey. Ralph Lauren, okay? Literally beautiful. Beautiful. And all you could see was her face. All right. Um, so it's not that it can't be done, okay? And again, we have to understand that these women are representing Black people as a whole. There are people who've never met a Black person, but they see Sierra naked. And just to be fair, okay, I'm not saying she's the only one that does it, but let's not act like when these other celebs don't do outrageous things that people don't have something to say. When Cardi and Meg came out with WAP, we was all on that. Like, let's not act like, oh, y'all just picking on Sierra. No, her picture just happened to be up. She just happened to be, you understand what I'm saying? This is just what's going on right now. Okay. But we can apply this to any celebrity. All right. And here's my thing. As the group of people who most claim to cling to Christianity, okay? Why are we not more upset that this woman is going around representing herself as a Black American Christian woman and saying that, listen, this is the representation, we're all like this? Where's the outrage about that? Where's the outrage about the fact that before Russell Wilson got with her, his whole campaign was he was a Christian, right? A Christian athlete, and he was supposed to be an example for Christian athletes, and like he was like the Black Tim Tebow. And let's also be clear, it affects him because I only know Russell Wilson from being married to Sierra. I don't know Russell Wilson before that. Okay? Not for real. Not outside of sports commentary. I mean, help me. Please feel free to chime in if I'm wrong. Okay? But so you have this man whose platform was built on being a Christian athlete, an example for Christian athletes. And then he marries this woman, a singer, who totally goes and presents herself as the opposite of everything that this man has built his platform on. And I don't understand why you so-called Christians aren't more enraged about this. I don't understand how people can claim to believe the Bible, live by the Bible, and then when they see the Bible blatantly being disobeyed, they have every excuse under the sun. And my favorite one is, well, other people were doing it. And so here's the thing, right? Let's look at the other people that were doing it. Cardi B was more dressed. Meg the Stallion was more dressed. Chloe and Halle were more dressed. The usual suspects of nudity were more dressed than Sierra was. Now, and mind you, okay, Cardi was the only other one that had a husband. Cardi B and her husband there. Meg's single. Chloe and Halle are single, and they're all more dressed than this married woman. See, and this is what I don't like about this quote unquote woke era that we're in. Everyone's so quote unquote politically correct that we just ignore reality. The whole point of getting married and getting a husband is that so you ain't got to be doing that anymore, isn't it? Like here's my thing, okay? When I was out in the world doing my thing, the goal was to get a man. The goal was to get a husband and get him to keep me ducked off at the house, so I ain't got to be in the streets doing this no more. And that nobody cares anymore. What's the point of having a husband if you're still advertising everything? First of all, this is among a long list of issues with this whole situation. But I'm telling you right now, if my husband ever, like, I would be so offended. I would be so offended if my husband were to allow me to come out the house like that. I'm offended. Anything that you don't have a problem putting on display amongst others is something that does not hold much value to you. And see here again, when these images are being broadcast to the rest of the world, okay, because we already know what America's consensus when they see a Black woman that way, okay? We already know what these people are thinking. And here's what I don't understand, how we on a daily basis just throw history to the side. Do we not remember that there was a time when our foremothers were forced to walk around unclothed, when they were forcibly raped, beaten, forced to have other people's children? Like, we act like that this history doesn't exist in this country, in this world, in this system, okay? Because they do it everywhere. Everywhere they go and colonize, they rape and they pillage. So it's not like this very notion was just voluntary amongst us as a group, right? But now you have women who do it, some for money, some for attention and likes. And the thing about it is the ones that have been selected to do it for the money keep prompting those others of us who aspire to that. And we have to stop acting like we don't have young Black girls that are watching these older Black women act like this. You can't act, you stop acting like our daughters aren't watching. Now you can see the true foundation of the relationship. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. And you, because who's looking at Russell right now thinking, oh, that's a good husband? Who's looking at, and see, they had y'all going, right? Because Russell was such a Christian. Here's the setup. Russell was such a Christian, right? Now here comes Sierra with the child out of wedlock from Future. And I'm not, listen, okay, Future got his own issues, but that man ain't never got up here and claimed to be a Christian. He ain't never got up here and said he was a man of God. I never heard Future represent himself that way at all, okay? So, but then you have Sierra, and see, she had y'all going talk about, I prayed and I got me, a good man. Look, I got me a good Christian man. He got a job. He played football. He's taking care of me and my kids. And all y'all went out here talking about, I need to pray Sierra's prayer. I need to pray Sierra's prayer. For what? For what? So you can get out here and embarrass this man and everything that he ever stands for? Listen, I don't know why y'all think that just because the internet or the sisterhood on social media has told you that you should be able to walk around with no shame and that your man should accept you the way that you are, however you choose to be. I don't know why y'all think that that's true, or that anyone else anywhere else abides by those rules. Okay, because I'm telling you right now, if I went around my husband's friends dressed like that, I would expect them to laugh at me and my husband. No, in no other culture is it acceptable for a woman to walk around scantily clad in the public as much as it is here in America. The Americas, let me say that. Once you start looking into other religions, their women are dressed. You see Indian women in their saris, Muslim women have on their hijabs. I don't see any other sect of religious women besides Christians walking around openly advertising their lust. Okay? And again, we're to the point in our society where we deny the fact that men are supposed to be attracted to women. When did we start acting like men aren't attracted to women? When did we stop acting like women dress the way we dress to get men's attention? Pig, I see you on my IG. Look, if you're on my IG, please head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD. Like, share, subscribe, comment, send it to a friend, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. And now here's my thing, right? This is a multi-folded issue. It's a multi-layered issue, because the first issue is we know that that's wrong. Married or single, as a woman, you should not be dressed like that. Okay. Again, we're at the point where we're denying the fact that men are attracted to women. Okay. Stop denying the fact that you don't know what you're doing when you walk around with the short shorts and the tight shirts and the crop top and you stand in front of the mirror and raise your hands to see just exactly how far you have to stretch to get your belly to show. Stop acting like y'all don't know what y'all doing. Stop it. And see, this is what I'm saying. Like we are living in such a hall of mirrors that people act like the truth is so hard to get to. It's not. Just step outside into the sun and you'll see the truth. Okay. You know exactly what you're doing when you dress the way that you dress. I know exactly. Listen, let me tell y'all something. In my house, there's no such thing as modesty. Okay. I dress how I want to dress in my house. And I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep this man's attention. All right. So yes, I'm gonna show a little of this and show a little of that. The YouTube one more time is Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD. I show a little of this, I show a little of that. I put on this perfume with a purpose. So now, why, if I'm married, am I going out to attract more? Why do I want another man's attention? Why? What is we deny the fact that women are made for men? I think maybe that's what it is. Let me throw that in there too. Because I think y'all are in denial of the fact that women are not made for women. We're not made for each other. And men were not made for us. Eve wasn't walking around naming animals and God was like, ooh, let me send her a man. No, that's not what happened. Adam was walking around doing his one too. And the Most High said, oh, he needs some help. Let me send him some help. That's why you're here. And see, here's the thing, like nobody wants to speak in terms of analogies because, oh, you're reducing me to an object. The Bible calls you a possession. It's not reducing you to an object. I'm just trying to illustrate the point of a possession. This is my teacup. I love my teacup. I picked it out because it has leopard print and I love leopard print. It's pink and I love pink. I picked out this teacup. It's mine. I don't want nobody else nasty lips on my teacup. You don't have to like my teacup. I don't want you seeing it because I don't want you to want it. And now I got to fight over it. I don't understand why y'all can't understand your husband's feeling the same way about you. Or a husband feeling that way about his wife, because I don't understand that. You get in a relationship with a man and you want your man to be possessive over you. You want your man to care where you go. You better ask where I'm going. You better care. Y'all be all uptight. He don't pay you no attention. He looking everywhere else. Then you want to be tight. You can't have it both ways. They don't even know what God she was praying to, being in the industry, but ready to follow any and every wicked trend. Exactly. And then that's another thing I brought up in the conversation. Maybe we're not talking about the same God here. Maybe because there's no way that you claim to be a believer of the Bible, that you claim to be a follower of the God of the Bible, but then you purposely go forth to do everything that he said not to do. And here our God is not stupid, nor does he think that we are stupid. Okay. He loves us enough to give us these laws and then to tell us why. Women, stay modest so that you don't tempt your brothers. It really is that simple. But see, instead of acknowledging lust, we'll just, I don't know if we act like it doesn't exist, or if we feel like, well, everyone else is doing it, so it's not a big deal. We'll blame the man for being attracted to women. This is where we are now. We're blaming men for being attracted to women. Even though the creator of us both told us good and well what was going on. Hey, look, I made y'all a certain way. This is what they like. And then y'all get mad at them for liking it. It's like if I throw a tennis ball to my puppy. I'm not mad at the puppy for chasing the tennis ball. He's doing what he's supposed to do. If you put a big fat booty in front of a man, what is he supposed to do? Look, when we're out, I don't even get mad at my husband for looking. I don't. I be looking too, like, damn, you can't help it. It's out there. It's out there. Nikki Nicole, hey sis. It's out there to be looked at. And so, on top of everything else, the blatant disrespect of the marriage by her walking around like this just further adds to the growing list of why people don't feel marriage is important. Because if I marry you and you still gonna do whatever the hell you want to do, why would I marry you? And see, this is what we fail to realize in our independent streak and in our posting online. And I worry about a lot of y'all that y'all ain't never gonna get a husband because of the crap you post online. I don't know how you're living, but if you live according to your comments online, y'all some hoes out here. Y'all some hoes out here. And I wouldn't want to marry you either. This is what you want to do with your life. You're more concerned about getting attention from other people than about being content with your man at the crib. Pull up Cardi B. She looked like a woman who's going home to her husband. Surprisingly, right? Talk about roles reversed. Because at one time it was Sierra was the princess. And remember when you couldn't get her cookies? And okay, that's what she's being, a whole cake. And stop, y'all, we want this, we want to be able to remain these fierce, independent women in marriage, but you want your man to become a husband. You want your man to make you his priority when y'all get married, but you don't have to. You want your man to have eyes for you and only you, but you get to go out here and solicit eyes from other men? Y'all make married women look bad. Remember when Aisha Curry a few years ago came out talking about, oh, I still need attention from other men? Let me see. And this is what bothers me about some of y'all. It's like, you don't listen to enough of these stories to understand that all attention ain't good attention. Okay? You claim that you're so aware of the dangers of the world and you're not naive and you up on game and you can see, you can see through what these niggas is doing, but you out here claiming that you need all of these men's attention. I have lived enough to know that I don't need nobody else's attention. No, don't even look at me because I don't know what you on. And that's what y'all fail to realize, okay? Because like that ball that I threw at my puppy, he gonna keep running till he get that ball if he decide that's what he wants. And a man is the same way. And he's coming with his intentions, be they good or bad. But if he's chasing you when you out here looking like you on the stroll, I guarantee you 8 times out of 9.5, his intentions are not good at all. You want somebody to love you for your personality, and you want to be, you don't want to be sexualized and objectified, but you sexualize and objectify yourself, and you also take pleasure in those that do it. What I mean by that is you are in support of it. You champion this cause. And so, therefore, I have no reason not to believe that you are also walking around dressed like this when you can. And let's talk about the defense of the behavior, because that's what really gets me. It's the defending. And what I love when people say silly things like, "Oh, y'all just mad because y'all don't look like her." Baby, you don't know what I look like under these clothes, first of all, okay? Secondly, nobody's trying to look like anyone. Like, I don't understand how the attempted degradation of a person is supposed to justify another person's sin. Okay? Um that's beyond me. You all act as if you are Catholic priests of old and these celebrities are paying you for the forgiveness of their sins, because that's what used to go on and that's how y'all are acting. If you have enough money to do it, then it's okay. Because if your cousin LaQuisha showed up at the barbecue, her and Pookie, okay? If they showed up at the barbecue and LaQuisha had that dress on, you be clowning her from here to kingdom come. You be talking about her. You be telling her, oh, she needs to take that off and she need to change that. But because it's Sierra, Beyonce, or your local celebrity, it's supposed to be okay. And y'all got all the justification for it. If my wife woke up tomorrow with Sierra body, I'd be mad as hell. See, that's right. Tell them, baby. So, I mean, y'all want to, it's equal opportunity, right? We supposed to be all about equality. Those of y'all defending this behavior, if your son walked in the house with a girl dressed like that, talking about they going to prom, would your energy be the same? That's your son's girlfriend's homecoming dress. Would the energy be the same? And so, but you fail to make the correlation between why your child would even want to dress that way, why your son would even be want to seen with somebody dressed that way, and the fact that these women keep doing it. You refuse to make the correlation as if these people, again, are not held up as representation standards and models of what little Black girls should be trying to be. If you can't see it for yourself, at least have enough concern for your daughters to say, no, this isn't right. It, you get the question, what does this have to do with you? What does this have to do with you? It's the refusal to accept the Bible as what do I want to say? Our starting point and our end point. I was talking to somebody on the post and they were like, "Oh, we can go down this rabbit hole." It's not a rabbit hole. What does the Bible say? And we can stop that there, because the rabbit hole indicates that, oh, there are more questions and questions and we can keep going and going. Ain't no more questions. What the Bible said to dress modestly. Did the Bible not say that? Did the Bible not tell us to stay away from whores and adulterers? And oh, you can't judge. You can't judge. Okay, but when a man is out looking for a whore, what does he look for? Don't worry, I'll wait. A man is not walking up to a mom in Kroger in sweatpants and a hoodie trying to get some $50, $60, 40, however much they paying for it these days. No, you take that behavior, and here's the thing. We our one of our suppliers is on Fulton Industrial. Okay. If you know anything about Fulton Industrial, okay, if you're not from here, it's very seedy, almost Skid Rowish. Okay. Um, So, but sometimes I have to go down to Fulton Industrial to get supplies, okay? But when I'm down there, nobody ever approaches me. Nobody even approaches me to ask me if I want to buy any drugs, okay? Like I nobody that's it, like whenever I got nobody asked me if I want to buy weed. Nobody asked me none of that. I never get asked these questions. Okay, other people do, I don't. Okay? But I'm saying that to say, how can you say not to judge when that's pretty much how you have to make your decisions in life? I don't understand how you want to apply one thing but not the other, okay? Because if a man approaches you, right, and he has on his Prada shoes and his whatever True Religion jeans, I don't know what the kids are wearing these days. Um, okay, a man approaches you poloed out. He got polo shirt, polo shorts, polo sneakers. Okay, okay, we might be able to do a little something, something. Now, if this same man approach you in a busted up t-shirt and some black Air Forces, you're going to run in the opposite direction. He don't even have to open his mouth. The one in the polo don't have to talk, and the one in the black Air Forces don't have to talk. You have already looked at them and made your judgment and made your assumption about how far it can go, and don't lie and say you don't. Don't lie and say you don't. And this is what I don't like about us. We don't like to take accountability so much that we'll deny the truth about ourselves. Because ladies, don't act like sometimes a man don't have to say nothing and y'all ready to pull y'all drawers down. I'm not lying. I'm a woman. I'm not lying. Okay. I had a former life. I've been single. You already know. Sometime before you see him approaching you and you already thinking like, he can get it. Okay, now I'm like, okay, all right, y'all want to act like I'm lying because don't nobody want to chime in the comments, but that's okay. I'll take that L. I'll take that L. Yes, in my single days, absolutely. So for you to turn around now and say, "Oh, don't judge," come on. It's not making sense to me. It's like, okay, hold on. I got a comment on the IG. This started when hoes wanted to be the man, meaning a man can do it. Why can't I? It's really only a two-player type of game, the pimp and the hoe. This is not IG model or the free women. And that's a brother commenting on my IG, okay? That is a brother telling y'all. It's one of two things. You either a hoe or you a wife. Period. There's no gray area. Y'all act like these men want y'all to be their friend. They don't need y'all to be their friend. They're not interested in a friend. They either gonna keep you or they're just going to use you. You're either tissue or a washcloth. Okay? We keep the washcloth, you throw it in the wash machine, you keep it. It's gonna stay. The tissue is one-time use only. You do what you got to do with it, and that's it. No in between. There is no gray area. This is why I had to explain to someone earlier. These nuances that Americanized Christianity has come up with to allow us to say that we're still Christians while living any kind of way, they're not understood throughout the world. Okay? Other religions keep their strict guidelines. They cutting women's heads off for not wearing a hijab. There are women that are dying to get an education. There's no gray area. The Bible says what it says. God said what he said. But we want to make up our own watered down Christianity that will allow us to do what we want to do. And then with people who are playing by the rules get upset, they're the ones that are wrong. How is that? Let's talk about some hypocrisy. I mean, And if that's the thing, then stop claiming to be a Christian. Stop it. Stop saying you believe in the Bible. Stop saying you believe in God. Stop it. I'm an atheist. I'm just out here, I'm a deist. You can tell people you're a deist. That means you believe in a higher power, but you don't think that it has any influence over your life. That's how y'all live. That is how y'all live. And if you look up the religion of our founding fathers, that is what they actually thought as well. So that's how some of y'all live. Like, yes, there's a God, but he doesn't care what I do or don't do. So I'm going to do what I want to do. Just go ahead and say that. Like, own that. But stop being whores in the name of Jesus. Stop doing that. Stop supporting whoredom in the name of Jesus. Like, this is a thing. We want to pick and choose about which sins are sins. Y'all had all the smoke for the brat, but nothing for Sierra. None at all. It's not making no sense. Get it together, people. Ladies, especially, please. It makes us all look bad when we champion that behavior. It makes us all look bad. It really does. Okay, let's go on to our main topic. I just had to get that off my chest because when I posted about it this morning, it went up. I was like, oh, y'all was really tight about this. Okay, let's talk about it. But so, our main topic, you put other gods before him. Okay, and like I like to do on this show, because we have two heads as women, because we have two heads, we're going to talk about how this affects both of our heads, okay? Exactly. We're all under it's so frustrating, right? Because it's so frustrating because Black church has done such a great job of alienating us from the Bible. So even to begin to explain how the law only pertains to Israel, man, that's a mountain right there to climb. It's so crazy. It's like, I want to let you know that, hey, you're so special that, look, this is how you're supposed to look. No, you're not like everybody else. You're special. You're supposed to be set apart. You're not supposed to be acting like this. You don't have to settle for this dirt. God has something better for you, and people will reject it. And it's so frustrating because you're like, no, look, here's a gift. Really, it's a gift. And they reject it. They just like at the I'm doing the Exodus 20. We don't like to call it the 10 commandments, but I'm talking about the first 10 laws with my children. So we were talking about how after those first 10, and everybody, the Bible says they stood afar off. They didn't want it anymore. Like, no, you got it. You know what I mean? This great blessing to be not face to face, but to have that encounter with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, look, I got something for y'all. But anyway, I'm just, it's so frustrating. But okay, look, now putting other gods before him. And let's start with how we use the word God in this lexicon, in this language of ours. It is a beautiful thing. Yes. Our Father is the King, and we need to be dressed like we are daughters of a king, period. And see, this is what, as a studier of history, never in history do you go back and see noble women dressed like sluts. You don't. Noble women kept themselves covered. Being covered was a sign of wealth. It was the poor people who couldn't afford clothes that were walking around naked. Being naked was y'all need to go watch Game of Thrones. When they dragged Cersei through King's Landing as a punishment for her sins, they dragged her through there naked. She was appalled because it was, you mean these peasants get to look at my body? It was beyond her comprehension that someone of such low meaning would have the pleasure of looking upon her. But y'all don't see yourselves that way, I guess. Anyway. Okay, so we talk about how we use the word God in this vocabulary of ours. And if you think about it, God is thrown around for anything. We just happen to feel like if we put the big G in front of it, that it means the God of the Bible. That's kind of crazy. It's like you saying that just because you put big G in front of the word girl, that you mean a particular girl. No, you're still talking about girls as there are multiple. So putting a capital G in front of God does not for the sake of our language, we do it. But that does not necessarily mean, you know what I'm saying? Once you become learned, you understand that that does not necessarily mean that you're referring to the God of the Bible, okay? And also once you begin to understand, I mean, I don't think it's that hard. Like, we all study Greek mythology in school. We study Roman mythology. These people called their super beings gods as well. Okay. Um, if you grew up in the North, then you know that Black men have been acknowledging each other as gods for decades. I know that wasn't a thing down here. But it's coming as, we are coming more into the truth of who we are and what the Bible says about us. We're starting to acknowledge, no, we are also gods, okay? So, when it comes to the Most High, all right, I don't think that maybe we grasp the brevity of his absolute superiority, okay? It begins and ends with him, period. That's it. He, like, I don't know how more definite to put this. Because no matter where you go or try to find your answers, it all comes back to the Most High. Okay? Um, and in acknowledging that, to pretend that any other thing, any other substance could fulfill that role is futile. It's thankless. There will be no end to your journey. Nothing else has the ability to answer the questions in your life. Period. Um and here's the thing. For us to deny that other gods exist is a form of ignorance that I'm afraid would lead to sin. Um, because other people of other religions will tell you of their God. The Buddhists will tell you about Buddha. The Hindus will tell you about Shiva, I think her name is. Okay. The Zoroastrians will tell you about Zoroaster. I mean, they will tell you of their gods. So even in a sense of geopolitical knowledge, like, you just can't act like other gods don't exist, okay? So I'm saying that to say that we have to be careful in this day and time when our attention is always pointed to social media and getting to the bag and, hustle, grind. Not saying that it's not necessary. Okay. I get it. Like, inflation is crazy. But we have to be sure that we are not putting the resource before the source. worshiping the creation rather than the creator. Like I was telling my boys, we don't thank the water for being here. We thank the Most High for providing the water. Okay. I don't thank the apple before I eat it. I thank the Most High for providing me the apple to eat. Now, what kind of fool would I be to thank the apple that cannot reproduce itself? Once I eat this apple, it's gone. So where's my God? Okay. I'm saying that because that's how some of us get with our jobs, with our sources of income, um, with our lives in general. We will neglect to even acknowledge God. And let's take it a step further. We become so caught up in the what's going on in our workplace that our behaviors are now outside the guidelines of the law, right? You're in the office, so you don't want to feel left out, and it's so and so's birthday. You over there making wishes and blowing out the candles. You know we don't do that. It's Christmas. So you're gonna bake some cookies. You know we don't do that. You got little Easter eggs and little bunnies up around your desk because it's almost Easter time. We don't do that. But you're so caught up and so much trying to assimilate to the place around you that now you've adopted their gods and you begin to worship them. Okay. Now you're placing this job and the things that come with it ahead of the Most High. All right. This is a reason for you to ignore the law now. Okay. Y'all get with these men. And listen, I know it's hard. I know it gets lonely. And I know there may not be a lot of brothers around you that are living a lifestyle that um you want in a husband. I'm gonna say that. Some of you are looking for brothers in the truth. Some of y'all are like, oh, I just need a man that is gonna come to church and live right. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever your standard is, whatever that relationship is that you need him to have with the Most High, sometimes you will, out of your loneliness, get with the man that does not have that or does not display that, or he may profess to be that, but the behavior that you've seen from him does not align with the word. Okay. And I'm saying that because like you'll take him around your friends, you'll take him around your family, your uncles, and everybody will check him out and they'll be like, oh, he's so good. Yes, yep, that's a good one. But you know in yourself, you've witnessed his behavior to know that he out here friend. Now, there's a difference between struggling and friend, okay? Now, you don't have to announce your struggles to everybody. I don't announce my struggles, but I do confess to my husband. That's my husband. So he knows my struggles, okay? He knows the things that I'm praying about. He knows the things that burden me, okay? That's my husband. He's supposed to know this. He does not have, okay. I've told him my struggles, right? I do not have to confess my struggles to everyone. I don't have to do that, okay? I've confessed it to him. He knows I'm working on it. Now, if if brother man was help me think of a name. Why I can't ever think of a name? If Omar, I don't know why I came up with that name. If Omar confesses to you, hey, I still struggle with picking up the pack every now and then. I'm praying about it, da 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 da. And he's still trying to walk right. That's up to you to decide if you want to deal with that. What I'm saying is there's a difference between a struggle and just out and out living in sin. If he's listen, this is what I'm struggling with. I'm praying about it, da 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 da. But if he If you see him get up every day and he come back with the scale and there's no mention of it, there's no talk of it, it's understood that, we just don't talk about this. Okay, now there's a problem. And now you need to be opening your eyes to making some decisions. All right. But what's dangerous to do is to walk around in denial like this is not what's going on. And that's what a lot of us will do. You'll see it. He'll cook it, chop it, weigh it, add the baking soda. I don't know the steps, but you'll see it going on. And because you just want to be in love so much, because you just want a man so bad, you'll choose to ignore it to your own detriment. Because then when the boys come kicking the door in, now you want to act like you ain't know what was going on. And this is the problem. We are clearly giving a specific set of guidelines to live by. And when you do not live by those guidelines, now you leave yourself open to the consequences that this system has come up with for you. All right. And that's why we have to be careful about who we're getting with, even when we're dating. Ma'am, sis, cousin, if you're not comfortable with his source of income, you need to listen to your gut when it's telling you that something is not right. Yes, we've all been there, overlooking all the red flags. Biggest day, honey. And you just put your sunglasses on and act like you don't see it until it's too late, when you can't ignore it anymore. And then when you're with him and things are wrong, now you're sitting up here like, oh, well, should I get it? I can't get a divorce because that's a sin. Oh my God. Like, whereas if you would have paid attention in the beginning, then you wouldn't be in this situation in the first place. The Most High would start punishing you for overlooking that too. Yes, he will. He definitely will. Okay. Been there, done that. All right. I have personally, and I'm gonna just confess this to y'all. I have personally put myself in situations knowing good and well what was going on. I knew what was going on. Got in the car and drove it anyway, okay? If I would have ended up in jail, it would have been nobody's fault but my own. And here's the thing, like, we like to act like, oh, well, I didn't know. They didn't tell me. You knew. Nobody has to come out and tell you. You knew. Come on. And here's the thing, they locking women up these days. No, they just not taking the dude and let you go. No, they're locking women up. It's women in jail 20, 30, 40 for life because they got in a car with the pack or they got in a car with the tool. This part, because it looks and feels good in your mind, knowing your soul is in pain. Yes, I understand the pain of loneliness. No, I'm not sitting up here far removed. Yes, I've been married 9 wonderful years. All praises to the Most High. All right, but I remember them lonely times, wanting a man, wondering why don't nobody love me? Am I not good enough? Why I can't have it? Why he won't love me like he love her? Why I can't get why? Instead of understanding that it's okay to want something and that maybe it's just not your time. It's like, hey, some things you can afford right now, some things you got to save up for. I went to Shoe Carnival yesterday and found me some sneakers for $40. Cool. $40 sneakers. Cool. This is what I wanted. This will do for right now. I also saw some $100 sneakers and I'm like, maybe I'll wait to pay for those. I mean, let's be clear. I could have paid for them a few times, but it was not within my spending budget. So that's why I didn't get them. Okay. So it's like that when it comes to having a man in your life. Sometimes you just gotta wait, boo. Like it's just that simple. Sometimes you just gotta wait a little bit longer. And I think in our finite minds, we're just going through it so much at the time. It's like, no, I don't understand. I need a man. Da, da, da. You're not wrong for wanting a man. Let me say this. And I get so tired of seeing this bashing of women who want to be married. You are not wrong for wanting to be married. You were very much made to be married. Like, you were made for a man. I don't understand why everybody likes to ignore the facts when it comes to women and our role in society, our role in our nation and in our culture. We are here to help our men while they are out providing and protecting. You are at home fortifying. And see, here's what I don't understand. For a group of women who complain so much about having to get up and go to work every day, we still refuse to see the benefit of having someone keeping the home. Are you kidding me? There are days when I work 12, 14, 16 hours and still had to come home, deal with my children, get their homework done, try to get the house clean, try to do some laundry, try to cook up a decent meal, wash myself, get them ready. For those of us who have lived this life, okay? For the group of women who, unless I'm wrong, have the greatest amount of single mothers per our population. Now, mind you, we're the majority, but we have the most of the bad stuff. Okay. So for the group of women who have the most single mothers per capita, for us to still walk around and act like we can't see the benefit in being a helpmeet is absurd and preposterous. And it just goes to show how some of us walk around with a hook in our nose following behind white women. Yes, I said it. You're letting white women whose mothers have help at home, even they don't have to be married, they don't have no kids. They may have grew up in a two-family home. Their mother, they didn't see a struggle, but you're letting them sit here and tell you how you're signing yourself up for a life of misery. Please, where is the misery in not having to be up at the butt crack of dawn? We wake up in my house at 8:00 if we want to. Nobody, my alarm clock is not, it's not dark outside. If I open my eyes and it's still dark, I'm rolling over and going back to sleep. But I remember a time when I couldn't. I remember a time when I had to wake up when that alarm clock went off, whatever time it was, and get up and be somewhere before the sun came up. I was at work before the sun came up, and I did not leave work until after the sun came down. And this is even in the summer. Okay. I'm not just talking about winter. I'm talking about even in the summer. So how can I then turn my nose up at the opportunity? Yes, it's an opportunity. How can I turn my nose up at the opportunity to be at home helping my husband build businesses and raise our family? And this is what kills me, because now you have these Black women who will get on God's green internet and say things like, you're not doing me any favors by making me a stay-at-home mom. What? Are you kidding me? If I have to do any work, then it's not a favor. Even the Bible tells you that you have to work. You have to put in some kind of work. Y'all don't want to get up and put the freaking clothes in the washing machine. Y'all don't even want to do that. And it's just beyond me. It's like, how dare you, ma'am, sis, cousin? And half of the women that's talking this ish is getting up at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock in the morning to go be at somebody's job. They'll convince you that your man saying, hey, babe, can you stay home and raise the kids? They'll convince you that that's not good enough. And this is you putting other men before your man. And I'm gonna say putting other gods before before your man. And the God in this case is money. That's all this is about. You live to worship capitalism. I know y'all don't like to hear it. But when you choose to go and work for someone else instead of building your own, you are choosing to worship capitalism. When your boss's word has more effect than your husband's word, you are choosing to worship capitalism. When you feel the need for your material things supersedes the need for your children to receive an unbiased, complete, whole, and truthful education, you have chosen to worship capitalism. When you don't want to listen to your man when he says, hey, boo, look, I got a plan. Now, we might have to, go without our luxuries for a while, but 10 years down, 5 years down, 15 years down, this is the vision. When you can't get with that, you have placed capitalism as the God over your husband. When you decide that your husband's name does not deserve you taking a second look at your behavior, you have put yourself over your husband. When you decide that it doesn't matter what your husband thinks, not just what your husband thinks, but what your husband's God will think about how you are dressed, you have decided to make yourself a God over your husband and over the God that he serves. Because you should understand fully well that God is coming to question your husband for your behavior. And the fact that y'all still choose to do what you want to do leads me to believe that you don't care if this man's soul burns in hell. You don't care. The Bible talks repeatedly about the plague of living with a contentious, disobedient, and loose woman. And just because you are not opening your knees and allowing penetration and allowing penetration, that does not mean that you are not loose. You're loose with your morals. You're loose with your body. And 1 + 1 usually equals 2. If you are walking around displaying your body as if it's for sale, don't think that there's not a man walking around that's willing to pay the price for your body. And I don't mean marrying you, I mean the cash price. And I don't know if some of you all maybe just did not. I must say that maybe some of y'all did not have the opportunity to experience what that can bring. Cause yes, it's fun in the moment. It's fun. It's fun. I used to love riding up and down the Garden State in the drop top. What? Are you crazy? In the summertime? What? In the city? What? Walking around, going from club to club, starting at BBQs and ending up who knows where? What? Yes, it was fun. But I had nothing to show for that. Nothing to show for you. No, you know what I had to show for that? Issues that I had to overcome in my marriage, trust issues that I had to overcome in my marriage. You have to totally re reset your mind when you come from living like that, because that's not sustainable and it's not real life. Fun is fun, but a lot of the times, the girls that they choose to have fun with are not the girls that they choose to marry. Yes, you're good to put in a nice car and show off, and so he can collect all the oohs and ahs. Yeah, that's good, but then he gonna take you home and go to where he wants to be. And that's what some of y'all fail to understand. And see, the other thing, I think a lot of women sit at home and they cheer women on who they see living like that, because to them they're like living vicariously through them, like, oh, I never got to be young and fly, so if I see, when I see the young fly girls, I'm bigging them up, I'm cheering them on. um when you see us older women trying to temper them down a little bit, your response is, "Oh, don't judge. Y'all just hating." No, nobody's hating. I've been there. You may not have lived this life. So you think it's all fun and games because you just see it from behind a TV screen. But as someone who's lived this life, let me tell you that it's not all that you think it's cracked up to be. And even though you may escape the life appearing whole on the outside, I guarantee you, you're paying for it with your mental and with your emotional health. And nobody wants to understand that. Let me tell y'all something. I'm happily married 9 years. I love being in my house. My house is my happy place. I don't need to. Me and my husband are working our way out of this rut, because like when we send our kids to the grandparents, we will come home, close the door, order Uber, and find something to watch on TV and chill for the rest of the night. And that be it. Me and him. And I'm happy with that. But I would be lying to you all if I didn't say that during the days that I struggle, because listen, every day is not rainbows and unicorns, okay? Some days I struggle, all right? The kids is getting on my nerves. The to-do list is getting too long, all right? Now I gotta, there's something else. Some days it's a struggle. And during those struggle days, it's easy for my mind to be like, oh, remember when you was living like this? Remember when you didn't have to worry about that? Remember when you could just. And I see why women are misled into thinking that, oh, it's easier to be a hoe than it is to be a wife. Um, and then again, no, I don't, because here's the thing. I understand the fear of commitment. Okay. Having a husband is a huge commitment and it is a huge responsibility. But sidebar, having a wife is even more of a responsibility if he's doing it right. My husband shoulders way more responsibility than I do. Okay? Um and so with that being said, yes, having a husband is a huge commitment and a huge responsibility. But the benefits of having a husband, the benefits of being the wife to husband, way exceed any benefit that you think you could derive from being a hoe. Because listen, yes, you got hoes out here getting houses, but ask Malaysia Pargo how that turned out. What happened to Malaysia Pargo? Glad you asked. Her house is now in foreclosure after she allegedly moved down here to be with Jamal Bryant. Okay? Ask if you could find someone to be honest with you. I'll tell y'all, I had a man buy me a car. He bought me a car. Nice car, too. And then as soon as he decided that he didn't want to deal with me anymore, what did he do? Come and get his car. Okay? All praises, I had my own money and went and got me something the next day. So boo-boo ain't miss a beat. Okay? But sometimes it don't work out that way. What if I wouldn't have had my own money and this man just decide, oh, he done. He didn't want to deal with me questioning him about him spending the night with his baby mama all the time. So now he gonna take the car and leave me and my 3 kids stranded. It was, yeah, I had my 3 daughters at the time. Took the car he bought me, took the cell phone he bought me. Took it. Okay? And here's what's even more messed up. After he took it and I went and replaced the stuff the next day, then he still tried to come back. The audacity. But I'm telling you this to show you that, listen, it means nothing. It means nothing. Yako, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me. If he is not signing that marriage certificate and putting your name on it, it means nothing. He can give you all the keys in the world. He can give you all the debit cards in the world. Yahweh forbid anything happen to that man tomorrow. You are persona non grata. You are a non-factor. His mama, his sister, his baby mama is coming to get all that stuff. And you will be left with nothing because you thought hoe is life. And it's not. Okay? It's a dead end to nowhere. You stop looking at these women who are able to see, because y'all don't listen to poor women. Yeah, a chick working at the Dollar Tree, if she was to broadcast live from the Dollar Tree and her Dollar Tree polo talking about she don't need no man, y'all wouldn't pay her no attention. You'd be like, girl, yes, you do working at the Dollar Tree. You clown her and laugh at her and everything else. But you let women like Sierra sit here and tell you that you don't need a man while she got one at home. You let Beyonce tell you why she don't need a man while she got one at home. You let Cardi B tell you why she not cooking and cleaning while she doing it at home. And y'all will champion their lies, even though they are being straight hypocrites and liars. You will still champion that and go on with that. That's what I don't understand. They will sit there in their face with their husbands, with their children, take their happy family pictures, and then turn around and tell you, you don't need a man, you should be independent. And you will go with that. You will wear that as a badge. I don't ever take advice from someone that's not doing what I want to be doing in that area. Even more so, how are you going to advise me to do something that you're not even doing? That is, talk about being double-minded. That is crazy. That's like me sitting here drinking this tea and I'm sitting here, yeah, but y'all don't drink this. Y'all don't drink this. Now you see me drinking this tea and I'm losing weight. My hair is growing. Okay. My waist is getting small. But I'm still telling you, don't drink this. Y'all, don't drink this. Don't drink this. You can't figure out how to get your hair to grow. You can't lose weight. Your booty won't grow. Your thighs still touching. And you see me drinking the tea. And you see it working for me. But you just so enamored by, I don't know, the filter, the money. I don't know what got y'all in this chokehold where you will sit there and listen to me tell you to do the exact opposite of what you see working in my life. Because if marriage didn't work, Sierra would have stayed a single mom. If marriage didn't work, Beyonce wouldn't have got married. Wasn't she already like a billionaire before she got married or something like that? Very close to it, whatever. If it didn't work, they wouldn't be doing it. Miss, I don't cook and I don't. Stop it. Even the ones that sit here say, Meg just had a man. If they didn't need men, then we would never see them with men. That would be the life that they lived if they was really about that. Strong delusion. It has to be. It has to be because I just don't, again, I don't understand. Because if I see you drinking the tea and it's working for you, why you don't want me to have the tea? What's up with that? It would make me think that you hate me. It would make me think that you hate me. If you have stumbled upon something good for yourself, if I did not share my truth with you, my Bible-based truth, if I did not, well, I don't want to say my truth because it's the Bible, but I mean my life experiences. My thing here is to share my life experiences through the lens of the Bible in order to help you to avoid some of these mistakes. Okay. But now, if I was to sit here and to only give you part of it, if I was just sit here and thump you with word, just scripture with no practical applications, it would be useless. It'd be like me giving you a key and not telling you which door to go into. Why do you hate me? Why do you want to leave me perplexed? Why do you want to leave me confused? That's what you would naturally think. It's just like when y'all see somebody out, like you see a sister out and you be like, oh, I like that purse. And she don't tell you where she got it from. Y'all be getting mad. Oh, she gatekeeping. But you'll continue to give your money, your attention, your likes, your capital as a participant in the metaverse. You continue to give that to these women who live one thing and then preach another to you. And see, I don't understand that because when it's convenient for us, we like to hold people of God to a certain standard. When it's convenient for us and we want to point out some hypocrisy in the church, we like to, point out what TD Jakes is doing wrong and how Joel Osteen shouldn't be, taking all these people's money. And, we got a rundown for pastors and preachers and those. We got a rundown for them. But if anybody else is claiming to be a Christian, we don't have any standards to hold them to. It, it's like y'all trying to live two lives at the same time and it's not going to work. We are at a day and time where you're going to have to make a decision. Like no, this fit sitting that we've been doing is not going to work. I was watching BMF. We were catching him up on BMF. And like it's to the point where when Lamar comes on, I just cover my eyes. I can't watch his scenes. It's like each time they show him, he's trying to be more violent than the last time. And it's disturbing to my spirit because it's like, when does it stop? What are they going to stop at? They've already displayed necromancy. They've shown this man spilling his bodily contents onto someone. Do we not see exactly demonic? Do you not? Does that not bother you? See, and here's the thing. We'll look at white people biting off bat heads and want to tell them how demonic they are. But this man can spill his bodily contents on a person, and that's okay. We'll sit there and watch him beat a person's head in, and that's okay. No, it's demonic from them, and it's demonic from us too. And I know I'm not under any kind of illusion where we're just gonna tell everybody stop watching it. Let's get it off. Listen, it's not going to happen. Okay, that machine is so well oiled and well funded that it is not going to stop until the Most High Himself comes and put an end to it. Okay, I get that, but at one point, as a people, we've got to say, like, this is enough. This where are we headed to? What is the end goal? Anytime I come before y'all, my goal is to edify. I'm here to edify you. I'm here to build you up, hopefully make you laugh, teach you something, make you forget some of your stress, have a little kiki. Well, not the men, but for the women, we come have a little kiki, get some word, some help for whatever you're going through. That's the point of me being here. If I'm coming to not do that, what else is there for me to be doing? And see, this is what I'm saying. We want so much to be able to live how we want to live that we apply gray areas where there are not any. Everything that you take in has a net positive or net negative effect. We know this. I don't know about y'all, but I choose music according to my mood. Okay. If I want to be feeling sexy with my man, that's the kind of music I go for. All right. If I need something to hype me up so I can finish cleaning or whatever, that's the kind of music I'm going to put on. So now when we sit in front of our screens or we select our music choices, what are we using that instrument to support? Because that's what it does. It supports the atmosphere that you are trying to be in at the moment. Okay. You want a romantic atmosphere, you go for some Mary J. Blige or you know what I'm saying, whatever. My list I don't want to say what's on my list. You'll be like, oh, that is a thugged out playlist. But like Big Sean's on my list. I got some Jeezy on my list. That's okay. So if the tools that I'm using are not conducive to the atmosphere, then there's going to be some disturbance. Like if I'm trying to be romantic, I'm not going to pull up Schoolboy Q necessarily. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily going to reach for the UGK in the time of romance. I'm not going to do that. It's not going to work. We're not going to function in that vein. I was doing something with my husband, and what can like this Function by E40. I love that song, okay? But that song came on and he was like, what is this? This is like a vibe killer. Like, we can't even do nothing. We had to change the song. So what I'm saying is, when you come to be entertained, what is your purpose? Is your entertainment purposes only? Yeah, I hear you, but no, it's not just entertainment purposes only. It affects us. You listen to sad songs and you cry. And, when I was younger, I used to be able to watch television and not cry. Like, I would watch sad stuff on movies, like The Puppy Could Be Dying, and I'd just be sitting there like, oh my gosh, would you come on? But now, I'm crying. I'm boo-hooing. I'm like, oh my, it affects me. Entertainment is not just, you don't watch anything without it affecting you. You will think about it later. Have you ever listened to a song only if you let it? That's not true. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's just not true. How many times have you heard a song on the radio and good and doggone well you hate this song? Matter of fact, every time you hear the song, you immediately change the song. And then one day, out of nowhere, here comes this song. And what's the first thing you say? I know the first thing I say, I don't even like this song. Why is it playing in my head? People are not spending. Right. Music is, it can either be edification or it can be destructive. People are not spending millions of dollars to put this music together, to use these particular formats, to mix and master, to give you this imagery, these videos, these shows. They're not spending all this money on this for nothing. They study this. There's a whole science called marketing and advertising where they sit around and run tests on people and gather information to see how different colors affect different people. McDonald's is red and yellow. Wendy's is red and yellow. Taco Bell is red and yellow. Why? Because they know that these colors make people hungry. When you go to a spa, what colors do they have on the wall? You're going to see your mint greens and your cloudy blues. Why? These colors make people feel relaxed. When people use colors for their branding, they use those colors because they want you to feel a particular way about their brand. If a brand is trying to express to you that they are sustainable and they care about the environment, what colors do they use? Green, white. You're likely to see a lot of leaves and clouds and sunshine on their packaging because these colors and things make people feel a certain way. And it concerns me that we are not at the point where we can say, okay, yes, this is what's going on, because it will keep us from using it to our advantage. Okay. That's what's so bothersome about it. And also, like, you're sitting there partaking in this stuff while you're in denial. It's like you putting a piece of pig in front of me and you're going to tell me it's a steak. Now, I can see that it's a pig. I'm looking at it right here. Okay, I can see that it's a pig. But because you tell me it's a steak, I want to believe you so bad. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this pig is what it is. Okay, that does not change the truth. And that's the thing. Okay, hey, you can only speak for yourself. Right on. It does not change the truth. Okay. What we can't do, and this is what we tend to do, we can't, the people who the people who put these things out here to destroy us, they know what they're doing. Okay. The people who release the programming, they know exactly what they're doing. These same people go back and grade themselves. How do they grade themselves? They take a look at the Black community and say, oh, look at all these niggas in jail. Look at all these single parent homes. Look at all these kids that can't read. Look at all these kids shooting and killing each other. And they report back with their government funded statistics in the name of, oh, we need to change, knowing good and daggone well, they don't want to change. They're just reporting to each other on how well their programming is working. And instead of us accepting that, it's like you don't want to accept the truth from God and you don't want to accept the truth from your enemy. You are just in flat out denial of what is happening in front of you. The kind of person that'll get stung by a scorpion and then just walk away and be surprised when you get sick and start dying. You getting bit. Did you not feel it? Do you not see what's going on? Shalom and shalom, Drew Mills. But we'll sit there and deny it. We'll deny. We'll shift the blame. It's not our fault that we lead in single parent homes. Cool beans. I'm willing to say, no, it's not our fault. But what are we going to do about it now? And here's where I kind of have to agree with people like Candace Owens, who say that Black people like to do a lot of crying victim, because we'll cry victim, but ignore the solutions that are being presented to us. And that's when it gets frustrating dealing with you people. Because you'll cry, oh, our daughters are whores, we're over-sexualized, but you defend the over-sexualization that our children are being fed in the media every day. Make up your mind. Do you just want to complain about a situation, or do you want a solution? Because it's coming off like a lot of y'all just like to have something to complain about. You just like to be able to cry oppressed, but you don't want to do anything to help your people get out of it. You won't support the solution, but you'll support the problem. And I'm not saying that I'm the only sister out here talking good, but you won't share none of it. And I see y'all. Y'all forget that TikTok shows people when you view their stuff. Okay? I can see when you view the stories. I can see it. Won't like it, won't share it, but you'll send me some mess. You'll share the mess. I see what you repost. And again, not just saying it's just me. It's a lot of sisters out here that's trying to share this gospel, trying to share this truth, trying to break it down for other women. You won't support that. But let Beyonce drop something and woo-hoo-hoo. I know. Our topic was you put other gods before him. And I still feel like I'm on topic because we make everything else a god. I had to, working with my children, doing Bible study with my children, I love it because I have to break this down to the simplest thing. I have to break it down to its simplest point. I have to break it down to its simplest point, right? I have to make it so that they can understand. So the simplest way for me to explain how you keep the Most High first is that you keep his laws no matter what. This is what I explain to my children, okay? And it even works for us as adults when you think about it. I have to explain to them that if you're out with your friends and everybody's eating, everybody wants to get shrimp, are you going to do that? And they'll say, no, we don't do that. If you're if your friend wants to go out and celebrate their birthday, are you going to go with them? No, because we don't do that. Okay? We have to accept, and we have to accept that the only way that we love God, honor God, is by keeping his commandments. That is it. There's no other way. I don't care how much you go and you raise your hands and you cry and you offer your lip service and you pay your time. I don't care. The Bible specifically states multiple times that the way to love him is to keep his commandments. It starts in Exodus and it's repeated I'm saying Exodus because that's where the commandments were given. But it starts there and it's repeated all the way through. If you love me, you keep my commandments. To those who love me by keeping my commandments. And we refuse to accept, because it does not fit our agenda. We refuse to accept that this is the only way. Okay. But now you will sit here and complain about, I told my husband I like flowers. I told my husband I like flowers. He'll bring you everything else but flowers. This man will go and bring you the moon. And what will you do? You will sit there and cross your legs and say, nigga, I told you I like flowers. But you refuse to give that same respect to the Most High. Who are you? Like, who are you to feel that you have the right to demand what you want? Who are you to feel that you have the right to exact your standards, but you cannot obey the Most High? The one who, without you, would not be here to live and move and breathe. It's not a game. This is not, you don't have a choice. You don't have no choice. Here's where we're so fooled, because we are allowed day to day to pick out what kind of socks we wear, what we're going to eat, what kind of toothpaste we're going to buy. We, for some reason, seem to think that we have a choice. You don't. You're either going to follow the Most High or you're going to follow the enemy, period. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can't even halfway follow the Most High. If you are lukewarm, he will spit you out. That is, can you imagine? He said he'd rather you be hot or cold. Love me or hate me. But that in between, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You're more dangerous than someone who just straight up hates me. Okay? I'd rather know that you hate me than to be confused as to where you stand. And we've got to accept the fact that this is true in every area of our life. And this is the problem with fake friends, or who y'all think will be y'all friends. Because you'll laugh and kiki and tell her your business, and then she over there with the girls that don't like you, her real friends, repeating everything you said. Instead of you having wisdom enough to know that you're either for me or against me. You're either for the Most High or you're against him. You're either going to stand for the things that he stands for, or you're going to stand for sin. Because what you don't realize is every deviation from the law gets you closer and closer to sin. I don't know why we haven't figured that out yet. We went from, pull up a picture of our ancestors from the 60s, from the 50s. We went from fully dressed, respectable women to now we're known as whores and sluts. We're the picture of whoredom. We didn't used to be that way. It started one thing at a time, a few people at a time, one small change at a time. I remember when they first started teaching sex ed in school. And the parents were in an uproar. It's not the school's job to teach this. This is between me and my family for me to teach my children. Okay. But what happened? The government decided to take it anyway. And now it's to the point where they're offering full out eligibility community education to our kindergartners. They got drag queens reading to little kids now. They got us so confused. You'll sit there and say, but that has nothing to do with sexuality. What? We are now in a day and time where a man can put on a dress and call himself a woman and will have the gall and audacity to stand you and look you in your face and tell you that they know exactly what you're going through as a woman. And there are people that will support him and they will hate you for telling him that that's a lie. I don't know how we watched the past 20, 30 years of popular culture and the destruction of Black people along with it, because our situation has only gotten worse. Financially, our situation has only gotten worse. Politically, our situations continue to only get worse. But we don't make a correlation between what we're consuming, what we're doing, what we're supporting, and the condition of our community around us. We like to talk about it takes a village to raise a child, but you don't want to live it. It only takes a village when the destruction is in your community. It only takes a village when something happens to your kid. Now it takes a village. But when the older women in the 90s were trying to tell us to stay away from that gangster rap, it's no good for us. Stay away from that music. It's only going to lead in our destruction. We don't need to hear our women being called bitches and hoes. We don't need to hear about our sons being murdered and selling drugs. We didn't want to listen to them when they were telling us that. And now look at the condition that we're in now, and we still refuse to listen. I came to Douglasville in the late 90s, early 2000s. There wasn't no such thing as a drive-by around here. You didn't hear about that kind of stuff going on in Douglasville. In Douglasville, you couldn't mess around. Black people didn't come to Douglasville because whoop, whoop. And now I'm so heartbroken to say we just had 2 teenagers that were killed after a party. And the perpetrators, two of the kids that did it, they were twins in high school. One of them is playing varsity football. Varsity football. Set up for a bright future. How do you explain that? Why is that even an option for our children? Because I'm sure that his mother is not sitting at home and saying, this is what you do with your life. One day you're going to go to a party, you're going to get in a fight, one of your homeboys going to call you or something, and y'all going to go shoot up a party. His mother didn't teach him that. His mother didn't teach him that was cool. I hope not, Lord. And his daddy probably ain't there. Okay, let's talk about it. But even if the dad is there, y'all, okay, let's look at Jay Morant. Am I saying it right? The basketball player who got caught posing with the tool on IG. They talk about this man came from a 2-parent home. He had a basketball court built in his backyard. You had to be doing pretty all right to afford a basketball court. So what is pushing this person to now lean toward this life a perceived crime. Look at let's just look at, he said Douglasville don't play. They didn't used to. But let's just even look at the difference in these two men. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Douglasville, it's a mixed income area. Okay. You have subdivisions in this area, you have apartments in this area, you have, there are poor people everywhere. Okay. So let's just say it's a mixed economic situation. And then you have Mr. Morant here, who's made it to the NBA, which is goals for everybody, right? Like, he's made it to the NBA. He's making the millions. He's got the contracts. Why are these two Black men in two very different situations still drawn to the same type of behavior? What is it? What is the common denominator between these two Black men that contains the same elements that will allow someone to draw this conclusion? Nobody wants to talk about it. It's this bull crap called hip hop culture. I'm going to just lay it out there. It's the bull crap called hip hop. Thank you, honey. Because no matter who listens to it, the same elements of violence, disrespect, degradation, and destruction are being lauded. And you will look at this and you still refuse to see it. And here's what's crazy, right? White suburban kids are attracted to the same behavior. And now they had, I'm wrapping it up, because remember, they had their own stuff. Remember when heavy metal, they was going after heavy metal, talking about it's demonic and, all this other stuff that they were doing. When that was their thing, they were doing that. They were into the punk and they were doing that. But now that hip hop has taken over as a popular music form, now in their youth, right, they gravitate toward that behavior. But here's something that people fail to recognize when it comes to white people embracing hip hop, right? When they grow out of that, they take their earrings out, they wash all the gel out of their hair, they put on their regular clothes, and they go and live their happy suburban life with their two-parent home in their house that their parents probably helped them make the down payment on. And they live in their peaceful community where they can leave the door open and they can send their children to party with their friends, and they're not worried about anybody shooting them up. Nobody wants to pay attention to that. Our kids and our men are the ones who are dying. Their kids put on the Black effect for fun. These white girls go out here and they get these big old hoops and their box braids, and they put on our behavior for fun. But when they graduate college and it's time for them to settle down and get married, they take off the hoops, they take out the braids, and they become Mrs. So-and-so. We haven't gotten to that point yet. We haven't figured it out yet. This is a game. Hip hop culture is child's play. It's make believe and dress up. And because that was all we had at the time, this is what we build ourselves upon. Okay? We're going to continue this conversation. I'm running out of time. Boo, I just said it. I'm running out of time. Look, here you go. Checking me. I'm running out of time. I want to thank you so much for being here with me this evening. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I appreciate your interacting with me. Lorraine, thank you so much for joining me. Tanya, Brianta, Anna, Angelina, I love you all so much. Thank y'all. Please join me again here next Thursday, 8 o'clock, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and on the Nasaya TV app, NASIYA.TV. You can download it on your Roku, your Fire Stick, your Apple TV, stuff like that. I know we've been talking about British Williams and her whole fraud issue, so we'll catch up on that next week. I didn't even really see anything new about it this week when I was watching Basketball Wives. So we'll talk about it again next week and catch up on that. Trying to think of anything else I wanted to. You know what? I don't even go over our businesses anymore. So much stuff that I do not share with y'all, but I'm gonna get better about that. I will definitely be on that next week. I don't have anything else to announce. We've been so busy here. I don't know when we're gonna come back with Sabbath Night Live, but if you don't have on your notifications, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. I want to thank y'all so much for kicking it with me this evening. On behalf of my wonderful, illustrious, oh so sexy husband, Monologue McGad, and the entire House of Mono, we love you. Thank you for hanging with me. Shalom and good night.
Look at you, you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid.